Ever feel like the software you use at work is just this giant, complicated puzzle? Well, you're not alone. Today, we're going to unpack the whole history of business software to see exactly how we got here and, more importantly, where it's all going. Let's jump in. Right? It's the big question. You're just trying to get one simple thing done, and next thing you know, you're bouncing between 3 different apps and waiting for 4 different approvals. It's a universal frustration, for sure. And the story behind that complexity? Well, it's actually the story of how business and tech have grown up together. So to figure this all out, we're going to take a trip through 5 key stages. We'll start with the old guard, the on-premise giants. Then we'll dive into the big debate, all-in-one suites versus specialized tools. After that, we'll see how AI just blew everything up, leading to the modern hybrid approach. And finally, we'll talk about the new role your company plays in this whole new world. Okay, so let's rewind. Our story really kicks off in an era that was dominated by these massive, self-contained systems. We're talking late 90s, early 2000s. Tech was starting to digitize business, but it was all happening inside the company's own 4 walls, like a digital fortress. This was the age of on-premise software, and it meant exactly what it sounds like. Your company had to buy, house, and maintain these giant servers, all the hardware needed to run its apps. The software literally lived in a server room down the hall, and the company's own IT team was on the hook for every single update, every glitch, every security patch, the whole shebang. But, this fortress had some serious cracks. The upfront cost for all that hardware was just huge. And if the company grew, scaling up was painfully slow and super expensive. If you had teams around the world, oh boy. If the server was in California, an employee in India would feel that lag with every single click. And on top of it all, the company was responsible for everything, from constant maintenance to navigating complex legal regulations. So all those problems with the old guard, they sparked this huge philosophical battle in the tech world. A massive debate got started that would shape business strategy for years to come. Is it better to buy one giant package that does everything, or should you pick the absolute best tool for each individual job? And that brings us to this big showdown, the integrated suite versus the best-of-breed approach. On one side, the suite promised a single, connected system from one vendor. Seems simple, right? But often, the individual tools inside that suite were kinda mediocre. On the other hand, best-of-breed let you pick the absolute best sourcing tool, the best invoicing tool, the best CRM, but, and this is a big but, none of them were built to talk to each other. It created these massive data headaches. The result of that best-of-breed approach was this chaotic digital quilt. It's a great analogy, right? Every patch was a different app from a different company with its own data format. It was just a mess. So the bottom line is, neither the all-in-one suite nor the pick-and-choose approach was the perfect answer. Companies were stuck. But just as this whole debate kind of hit a wall, this incredibly powerful new force entered the scene, one that was about to completely rewrite the rules of the game. And that force, of course, was artificial intelligence. And the key word there is accessible. Look, AI wasn't some brand new concept, but for the very first time, it wasn't just for mega corporations with bottomless budgets. It was becoming a tool that more and more companies could actually get their hands on to solve real problems. And to really get how this happened, check out this personal story from our source. The author talks about having to manually classify millions of lines of data, a job that took 9 straight weeks of 70-hour work weeks. Insane. So to automate it, she didn't just hand them a spreadsheet. She literally sat down with developers and mathematicians and taught them her exact thought process, every decision, every little rule she used. What they built was an inference engine, basically an early AI that could mimic her expertise and do in minutes what took her months. It's a perfect example of how AI is really about capturing and scaling human intelligence. So, what made all this possible? Well, it was a perfect storm, really. You had way faster, way cheaper silicon chips that could process insane amounts of data. The cost of cloud technology just plummeted, and global collaboration became the new normal. But the real key, the secret sauce, was the widespread use of APIs, application programming interfaces. You can think of them as universal translators that finally let all those different applications talk to each other. All of that, the cheaper processing power, the better connectivity from APIs, it all paved the way for a brand new solution, one that finally put that old suite versus specialist debate to rest. A much more flexible, hybrid approach was born. And here it is, the hybrid approach.
This is really the synthesis we've been building up to. It lets a company have a core system for all its shared data, kind of like an integrated suite, but then use those powerful APIs to plug in best-in-class specialized apps wherever they're needed most. You get the best of both worlds, the stability of a central hub with the power and flexibility of specialized tools.
And hey, the proof is in the numbers. Just look at the market forecasts. The growth of cloud-based solutions, which is really the backbone of this hybrid model, is absolutely exploding. It's projected to hit nearly $18 billion by 2032. And meanwhile, spending on those old-school on-premise systems is basically flatlining. This isn't just a small trend, it's a massive, fundamental shift in how business is done. Now, this new hybrid world is incredibly powerful, but it also comes with a pretty major shift in responsibility. The way a company thinks about and manages its technology has completely changed, putting a new kind of pressure squarely on its own shoulders. So here's the big takeaway. Your company is no longer just a customer buying a product off the shelf. It's become a general contractor. It's now up to the company to design its own blueprint, to search through this ocean of software providers and figure out exactly how to piece everything together into a unique tech stack that fits its specific needs. The power you get is immense, but so is the responsibility. And that really leaves us with one final big question to think about. We've seen how companies now have to act like their own tech integrators. And as AI gets even smarter and more woven into every tool we use, is this trend just going to accelerate? Does it mean that to survive and win in the future, every single company, no matter what it makes or sells, will ultimately have to become a technology company?